Mike, I was at the Temple game as a fan with Penn State.
As a fan?
Chilly
It
day.
was yes, it was winter has arrived in Happy Valley.
6-3 at halftime. I thought the Temple band was more entertaining at halftime than what the first half was of that
now
game.
Now you're going overboard. Go ahead.
The second half got very entertaining. The defense has been great all year. We're going to talk about some positives there. But let's talk about the positives on the offensive side. Quarterback, that's a frustration still with Hackenberg. But let's talk positives before we talk. We've talked about Hackenberg enough right now.
Well, 254 yards rushing, which is by far the season high, and that's a good number for against anybody. And Temple has been a pretty decent defensive team. So, and it's so many things. They had a 2-play 75-yard drive that was 2 runs, a 38-yard run and a 37-yard run. I mean, how often do you see that? But I think more importantly, they were able to run the ball pretty consistently, just for 3 or 4 yards on first down. So it's 2nd and 6 instead of 2nd and 11, which we've seen so much of that this year. In fact, Franklin talked about that a lot last week about being off schedule all the time on offense. Well, in terms of down and distance, that was much better. And the passing game did not cash in the way it probably should have of all of this stuff that we're talking about: protection, blocking. Being on schedule, the possibility of play action because you're running the ball so effective. All of that stuff, the passing game didn't go. Their defense, essentially won the game for them, not only by stopping Temple, but by making plays. Actually scoring 1 touchdown and setting up another one.
Yeah, I think that's sometimes the best offense for Penn State. It's a great defense.
No question about it right now.
You made a comment in an article that appeared in Monday's morning paper that right now, Hackenberg might be the weakest part of the team on offense, and or actually not just offense, of any of the different positions, offense and defense, special teams. It seems like the wide receivers have regressed a little bit. They're having a harder time getting open. I don't know if that's part of it, but Hackenberg is really struggling, and the residual effect of playing in this offensive system with this offensive line, which was so bad most of the year, I think has impacted him. But right now, it's on him. He's pretty bad right now. If that offensive line looks like it's coming together, you've got Smith was back on the one tackle spot. Diefenbach back in the middle. They were pulling guards and they were making, and you see some of these holes opening up that weren't there earlier in the year.
Yeah, it wasn't like they just ran to the left. They just ran behind Smith and Diefenbach. Although Smith did have a couple of big pancake blocks on key plays, but you're right. It was an active.
I think Belton, but Keel Lynch, the one touchdown was right at sort of up the middle, and he went.
Yep.
And that's impressive because they have Illinois this week. The Temple win gets them bowl eligible. They didn't get to go to a bowl now, and I think they will because these bowl people know that Penn State
they're
draws
going
well.
to a bowl.
They're going to a now we're trying to make sure we don't go to a goal game the day after Christmas in Detroit.
Right.
Now, if you can beat Illinois, this is important because this is a big win. Michigan State at the end of the year, that's a tough one.
Yes.
But Illinois is a beatable team. I think they've lost 4 of the last 5, haven't been playing very well. And we all know about Illinois. We don't like Illinois because of what they did a couple of years ago trying to pilfer people during the sanctions.
A lot of those veteran players on Penn State are they have not forgotten that, believe me.
I heard O'Brien actually called up some of those guys. No, he didn't. Okay. But O'Brien still holds a grudge.
There's no question about that. I've heard that firsthand, there's no doubt about that.